Athaliah. This story has all the makings of a story about the wicked witch and her schemes, and the daughter that comes in and saves the day. It's just a great story. To understand this, you have to go back to Jehoshaphat. He was one of the great kings of Judah. You take both nations, put them together, he was one of the great kings of all of Israel. And yet he wanted one thing. He wanted to build a relationship between Judah and Israel. And that was not to be. It was not God's will. And by arranging this marriage, he opened the door for the family of Ahab to not only take over Israel, but to take over Judah. And the worship of Baal, not only to run throughout all of Israel, but now in Judah. Let's just look at Athaliah. She was the daughter of Jezebel, and that's where she got her love for Baal. And she was married to Jehoram. Now, Jehoram was 42 years old when he died. He had ruled for 8 years, and he had more than one wife. Athaliah wasn't his only wife, but she had a profound influence on this man, turned him to the worship of Baal. I personally think she's the one that influenced him to kill his 6 brothers, because she knew that they could take over. Her son was Ahaziah. There were 2 Ahaziahs. Both of them became king. This one here, the son, became king of Judah. Athaliah's brother was also named Ahaziah and became a king of Israel. Both of them neither of them reigned very long. Both of them died. The other thing about Athaliah is in ancient history, she's only one of 2 women who became the supreme monarch of their country. As I say, who became king. There is Athaliah of Judah, and then there was a Pharaoh who was a woman. So she has a distinction there. But the real heroine here in this story is Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat went in, endangered her own life. She was, as I mentioned, the daughter of Athaliah, but probably from a different wife. She was in the daughter position, but probably wasn't the actual daughter of Athaliah, but was from a different wife. We'll be talking about her a little bit more next week. She has a position even after this story here. Interesting that Joash lived in the temple. That was the safest place for him to be. He served the temple like Samuel served the temple. So nothing was thought of it. Just a young boy that was growing up in the temple. As far as Athaliah was concerned, if she even noticed, because she didn't go to the temple that often, but even if she noticed, it was probably some family brought this boy here and wants him raised by this godly priest. So she didn't think anything of it, because he probably served just like Samuel served. The priest, when he brought about the coup, he did it on the Sabbath. Interesting, 2 minor things here. That was the changing of the guard, so he could have more troops. The palace guards, one group would leave the palace and the other group would come in. Well, it worked out that when the one left, the other one just didn't go in. So he actually had more. Now, he probably sent a few there to kind of make sure that she wasn't aware of anything. It was at that moment then that they brought this about, which was another reason why Athaliah knew that something was wrong, because she didn't have all the guards that she normally went. So she went out and she heard the shouting and she went in there. So it was all set up perfectly for this to happen. Well, a wonderful story. one that we need to know about. Well, come back next week when we continue on with more Story Insights on the Story of the Week. We'll see you next week.